ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयं मुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता एज इट इज की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome to today's Srimad Bhagavatam for All session. Let us recite Bhagavad Gita chapter 15. Why is this showing like? 1 second. Okay, let's recite the verses of chapter 15. Purushottam Yoga, the Yoga of the Supreme Person. Sri Bhagavanuvacha Urdhvamulam Adah Shakam Ashwatham Prahuravyayam Chandamsi Yasya Parnani Yastam Veda Sa Vedavid अधश्चोर्ध्वं प्रसृतास्तस्य शाखा गुणप्रवृद्धा विषयप्रवालाः अधश्च मूलान्यनुसन्ततानि कर्मानुबन्धीनि मनुष्यलोके न रूपमस्येह तथोपलभ्यते नान्तो न चादिर्न च सम्प्रतिष्ठा अश्वत्थमेनं सुविरूढमूलम् असङ्गशस्त्रेण दृढेन छित्त्वा ततः पदं तत्परिमार्गितव्यम् यस्मिन् गता न निवर्तन्ति भूयः तमेव चाद्यं पुरुषं प्रपद्ये यतः प्रवृत्तिः प्रसृता पुराणी निर्मानमोहाजितसङ्गदोषा अध्यात्मनित्या विनिवृत्तकामाः द्वन्द्वैर्विमुक्ताः सुखदुःखसंज्ञैर्गच्छन्त्यमूढा पदमव्ययं तत् न तद्भासयते सूर्यो न शशाङ्को न पावकः यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम ममैवांशो जीवलोके जीवभूतः सनातनः मनः षष्ठानीन्द्रियाणि प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति शरीरं यद् अवाप्नोति यच्चाप्युत्क्रामतीश्वरः गृहीत्वैतानि संयाति वायुर्गन्धानि वाशयात् श्रोत्रं चक्षुः स्पर्शनं च रसनं घ्राणम् एव च अधिष्ठाया मनश्चायं विषयानुपसेवते. उत्क्रामन्तं स्थितं वापि भुञ्जानं वा गुणान्वितं विमूढा नानुपश्यन्ति पश्यन्ति ज्ञानचक्षुषः यतन्तो योगिनश्चैनं पश्यन्त्यात्मन्यवस्थितं यतन्तोऽप्यकृतात्मानो नैनं पश्यन्त्यचेतसः यदादित्यगतं तेजो जगद्भासयतेऽखिलं यच्चन्द्रमसि यच्चाग्नौ तत्तेजो विद्धि मामकम् गामाविश्य च भूतानि धारयाम्यहमोजसा पुष्णामि चौषधी सर्वाः सोमो भूत्वा रसात्मकः अहं वैश्वानरो भूत्वा प्राणिनां देहमाश्रितः प्राणापानसमायुक्तः पचाम्यन्नं चतुर्विधम् सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि सन्निविष्टो मत्तः स्मृतिर्ज्ञानमपोहनं च वेदैश्च सर्वैरहमेव वेद्यो वेदान्तकृद्वेदविद् एव चाहम् द्वाविमौ पुरुषौ लोके क्षरश्चाक्षर एव च क्षरः सर्वाणि भूतानि कूटस्थोऽक्षर उच्यते उत्तमः पुरुषस्त्वन्यः परमात्मेत्युदाहृतः यो लोकत्रयमाविश्य बिभर्त्यव्यय ईश्वरः यस्मादक्षरम् अतीतोऽहम् अक्षरादपि चोत्तमः अतोऽस्मि लोके वेदे च प्रथितः पुरुषोत्तमः यो मामेवम् असम्मूढो जानाति पुरुषोत्तमं स सर्वविद् भजति मां सर्वभावेन भारत इति गुह्यतमं शास्त्रम् इदम् उक्तं मया नघा एतद् बुद्ध्वा बुद्धिमान् स्यात् कृतकृत्यश्च भारत. I want to give you a quick summary of this chapter, the shlokas that we read. So this chapter is called the Purushottam Yoga. What was said at the end of the 14th chapter? That one transcends the three modes of material nature by performing Mamchayo avyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatitiyaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Then by practicing that jnana yoga, ultimately taking shelter of only bhakti, one transcends the three modes of material nature. And if they don't do that, you cannot transcend the three modes of material nature. So what is the position of the soul in this material world, in the conditioned state? That is being explained here. So, Sri, what is this material world? Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, there is a tree called Ashwatha. It's known as Ashwatha, and it is the Uttamam. It's the best of all trees. Ashwatha means the best of all trees. Avyayam means it's existing. Like there is no, not diminishing it. It's an unending tree. What is the description of this tree? Urdhva moolam, the roots are up and the shakha, the branches are down. Parna means leaves. The Vedic mantras are its leaves. One who knows this tree is the knower of the Vedas. Adhaschordhvam, adha means down and urdhva means up. Both up and down, prasritas means spreading. These branches are spreading up and down. The tree is inverted. The roots are up and the branches are down, but the branches are spreading all over. What is this tree? This tree is the 14 planetary. This tree is spreading in the 14 planetary systems. The roots are in Brahmaloka. The branches are spread throughout the universe in all the planets. The leaves are the Veda mantras. Guna pravriddha vishya pravalaha. The twigs are the sense objects. Adascha mulani anusantatani. From the branches, again, there's more roots coming, just like a banyan tree. And what are these? Karmanubandhini manushya loke. These roots will be found only in the earthly planets. The tree is extending throughout the universe, but only on the earth planet. That too, in the human body, you will see this karma. And the bondage of karma is performed in human body. So once again, there is a tree. This tree is called Ashwatha, or it's also the tree of samsara. Okay. And the branches of this tree are the various types of bodies. Like you have human body, animal body, demigod body, all types of bodies, 8,400,000 different bodies, species you have. All these various bodies are different branches. The leaves are Veda mantras. And there are fruits. What are the fruits that come on this tree? The fruits are of happiness and distress. Fruits are of happiness and distress. This tree is the means for getting the fruit. Okay. So the tree is the sadhana for getting the result. What are the results that people are? What is Purushartha? Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. These are the results. So by this, with the help of this tree, samsara tree, the living entity is able to get Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Now, how do you know what is Dharma? What type of Dharma should be performed? That is given to us from the Veda mantras. By Veda mantras, one understands what is Dharma and what is my Dharma, particular Dharma that I have to do. And the same Veda mantras will tell us when the result of that Dharma, by performing that Dharma, whatever Artha you're getting, how that should be used and how you should enjoy your sense gratification. What is acceptable and what is not acceptable. And ultimately, moksha, right? After one becomes frustrated with this temporary nature of fruits in this world, he wants liberation. How to get that liberation is also prescribed by the Vedas. Just as the leaves are the life of the tree, because it is the leaves that are preparing food for the tree. Yes? Photosynthesis. Similarly, the Veda mantras are the life for this samsara tree. That means through the Veda mantras only, one knows how to perform karma, how to enjoy in this world, and also how to become liberated. So the leaves are compared to the Veda mantras. And I said the branches are what? The branches are the different bodies. The twigs, that means the tips, right, of these branches, the twigs are the sense objects. What are the sense objects? Form, taste, touch, like this. What happens when the leaves, excess food is produced in the tree by the leaves? What happens to that excess food? It is stored in the form of fruits. So the fruits of this tree, like by performing, what are you expecting by performing your dharma, artha, kama? You get, by performing dharma, you get artha, and then by sense gratification, you get happiness and distress. So this happiness and distress is the fruits of this tree. The living entity, you can say, is like a monkey. A monkey jumps from one branch to another branch, eating the fruits. Similarly, this living entity, conditioned soul, he's called Jiva, he's jumping from one body to another body, trying to get the happiness and distress in various bodies. He's trying for happiness, but he will also get distress. Wanting to taste the different experience in different bodies, right? We discussed it earlier also, right? Someone who's very fond of sleeping, he'll get the body of a bear and he can sleep nicely for a long time. Or somebody who's very fond of not wearing clothes and being naked, he'll get the body of a tree so that you don't have to wear any clothes. That means by our actions, we are actually showing what our desire is, and according to that desire, we will get a particular body. This is like the monkey jumping from one branch to another. The living entity is jumping from one body to another. Now, in the human form, Only in the human form you are actually doing karma, and this karma is causing you to take another body. That means the branches, the human body, right? The branches, I said this tree is spreading throughout the universe, but the branches that are on the earthly planet, and even those branches which represent the human body, they are producing these prop roots, additional roots that go down into the ground, and then they produce new branches. That means in human form of life, you are performing karma, which is resulting in producing new bodies. That's what is said in this verse. Adhaschordhvam prasrita tasya shakha guna pravriddha vishaya pravala. This means the branches are spreading up and down, and the twigs are the sense objects. Adhascha mulani anusantatani karmanu bandhini manushya. So some branches are producing roots. And what are these represent? These roots go down and produce new shoots. So this is representing the human body which binds you by karma. Further, this tree is explained. Narupamasye hatathopalabhyate nanto na chadirna cha sampratishta ashwattamenam suvirudha moolam asanga shastrena dridhena chitva. So, the form of this tree cannot be ascertained. That means, where is it beginning? Where is it ending? How much is its dimension? It is hard to tell. Just like in the forest when there is a banyan tree, you see, these prop roots, when they come, they go into the ground, and in some other place, they are shooting the roots up, shoots, new branches are coming up. Those branches grow, and again, they produce new prop roots that go down into the ground. Again, new stems are coming, and then another tree, right? So this one tree is spreading sometimes in a vast area, producing so many. It's hard to tell what is the beginning and what is the end. Similarly, you cannot find out the beginning of this tree. Since when is this? Every conditioned soul has this tree of samsara. When did it begin? Right? When did my conditioned life begin? You cannot find out where the beginning is. It is not possible. So it's not intelligence to try to find out where I started. Rather, what is the duty? Ashwattamenam suvirudha moolam asanga shastram dridena chitva. The root of this tree is very, very dridha. Dridha means it's very, very strong. So this root has to be cut. How do you cut this root? Asanga shastrena. Dridhena chitva. Very powerfully using the weapon of asanga, you have to cut the root of this tree. What is asanga? So again, as we've been discussing all these days, this identifying with the body, that false ego, because of false ego, identifying oneself with this body, then we want to enjoy in various bodies, and we are moving from one body to another body, and this is going on eternally. So you have to cut the root of this tree with asanga. What is asanga? Asanga means detachment. What type of detachment? Coming out of all bodily designations. Coming out of bodily designations. Realizing that I am not this body. Even if you have not realized, at least meditating on this fact that I am not this body. Why I am working so hard? Why I am so attached? Right? So with this type of detachment, one has to cut the strong root of this tree of samsara. Tatah padam tat parimargitavyam yasmin gata na nivartanti bhuyah tameva chadyam purusham prapadye yatah pravritti prasrita purani. Tatah padam tat parimargita. So after you cut this tree, what do? You have to find something which is different from this tree, something which is completely different from this tree. And going to that place, you don't have to return back again to this tree. You have to find that. What is that? That is the shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By taking shelter of that Supreme Absolute Truth, by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, you can go to that place from where you don't have to come back. And that is completely different from this existence that we have. So after you cut with this sword of detachment, you cut the attachments of this world, you have to take shelter of that Supreme Lord. Now, so that is the goal. The goal is established. You have to cut the attachments in this world and you have to take shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord. How to do this? So, how to, uh, of course, you are going to cut this attachment. But then after you cut this attachment, there is, gross and subtle. On the gross level, you give up all work. There is also purification in the heart. You have given up attachment to the result of the work, right? And not considering yourself to be the doer of the work. This is all Nishkama Karma Yoga. And finally, now after giving up home, you have to practice jnana sadhanas. That's what is described in this fifth verse. Nirmana moha jita sanga dosha adhyatma nitya vinivritta kama. Nirmana moha, right? Giving up your false ego, illusion, right? Jita sanga dosha, giving up all attachment. Adhyatma nitya vinivritta kama, overcoming all types of attachment to sense gratification. Dvandvair vimukta, free from all dualities. Sukha dukkha sangair, being remaining even, remaining equipoised in the face of happiness and distress. Gachanti amudha padamavya yamtat. By doing this, you can reach to that destination. Now, what is the nature of that place where you are aspiring to go? Na tadbhasayate suryo, na shashanko, na pavakaha, yadgatva na nivartante, tadhama paramam mama. That place is not illumined by the sun, it is not illumined by the moon. And one who goes there, he will never return. That is the destination where you want to go. And one second. Yeah. What is the position of the living entity in relation to that supreme? Actually, Mamaivamsho Jiva Loke, all the conditioned souls in this world, what is their relationship with that supreme where they're trying to go? They're all the parts and parcels of the supreme absolute truth. Mamaivamsho Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhutaha Sanatanaha, Manaha Shashtani Indriyani Prakriti Sthani Karshati. Their real position is they are pure spirit souls. But because of this avidya, ignorance, and then being given this false mithya ahankara, because of that, unnecessarily, the spirit soul is claiming to be this particular body. And then when it claims, and all the activities which are actually done by Prakriti, it claims to be his own activities. And because of this claiming, he actually experiences happiness and distress. He has got nothing to do with the happiness and distress of this body. This is actually being carried out by the body. He is a pure spirit soul, but because of claiming, because of identifying with this body, why he is identifying? Because of false ego, because of mithya ahankara. He is identifying. And then prakriti sthani karshati. He is constantly struggling, situated in this prakriti, this living entity whose identity is he is a part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, is constantly struggling with the six senses, the five senses centered around the mind. Mind is also a sense. And here you can say mind means you should take everything, mind, intelligence, false ego, everything, right? So with all these, he is constantly struggling here because of that false ahankara. Then shariram yad avapnoti yachapyut. Now, how long will he stay in this body? For a limited time. He has to give up that body at a certain time. So when he has to give up that body, what happens? He will take, because he's still identifying, isn't it? Gross body and subtle body. So subtle body he will carry just like when you're vacating an apartment, you take all your stuff and you go somewhere else, right? Like that he packs up everything, his mind, his intelligence, everything, and he will go to a new body. Shariram yad avapnoti utkramatishwaraha grihitvaitani samyati vayur gandhani vashayat. How he is taking the way air carries aroma. The way air carries aroma, in the same way this living entity carries his subtle body. That means his mind, intelligence, senses, not only senses, even the sense objects in the subtle form he is carrying. Shrotram chakshu sparshanam cha rasanam granam evacha adhishtaya manaschayam vishayanupasevate. And after taking all this, when he goes to a new body, just like when you go to a new apartment, again you set up everything. Like this living entity going to a new body, once again he adjusts according to that body. So he'll get an intelligence according to that body. His intelligence, his mind, just like a dog's intelligence is only developed so much. Let's say from a human body, you're going to a dog's body. So all your subtle body and gross body, everything, you will adjust yourself according to that particular body. And the false ego will once again give you the ahankara that now I'm a body, I should wag my tail, I should run here and there, so on and so forth. Utkramantam sthitam vapi bhunjanam va gunanvitam vimudhananu pashyanti jnana chakshushaha. Now, how a living entity is giving up this body? Giving up this body means how he's just now what we discussed. The living entity taking all this subtle body is going to a new body and adjust. And also while staying in a particular body, how he's being, practically, he's suffering for no reason, unnecessarily. This, a Vimudha means a living entity, Jivatma, who's covered by avidya, he cannot understand. He can try to understand, but he will never understand. He will again and again, even after hearing this, again and again, he will think that he will be in the consciousness that I am this body, and the things related to this body are mine, the people related to this body are my people, and he will work in that consciousness. Vimudha nanu pashyanti, he will not be able to see this. Pashyanti jnana chakshushaha, then who will see? One who has jnana chakshu, he can see. Jnana chakshu means what? That by practicing this, you have to realize it. By practicing this nishkama karma yoga. What is nishkama karma yoga? Nishkama karma yoga means you will be doing your work. Whatever prescribed dharma you have, you will perform that swadharma. But you will, while performing that dharma, constantly you will practice consciously, deliberately. You have to practice that I am a spirit soul. I have nothing to do this work. I'm completely separate from this work. I am not the doer. All this work is being done by Prakriti. And with this consciousness, when he is working, and also while and the result that comes also, he will offer it to the Lord. He will not have attachment to the result. No doership, no, not thinking that I am the doer, and at the same time not claiming the fruits of that work. And while doing the duty, whatever happiness or distress comes, he tolerates it. He tolerates it. And while tolerating, he will not give up his work. He will continue to work, doing his dharma. What will be the result of this? When you get difficulty while doing your dharma, and in spite of that difficulty, if you continue to do your dharma, that will lift you above this bodily consciousness. What is the reason that you're doing this? The purpose of Nishkama Karma Yoga is to bring us to the transcendental platform, to lift us above this bodily platform. That brings us to the mode of goodness. So that is why Pashyanti Jnana Chakshushaha. Somebody who's a yogi, who's practicing this Nishkama Karma Yoga, who succeeds in this Nishkama Karma Yoga, then he'll come above this bodily consciousness and he'll be able to see that I'm not this body, I'm a spirit soul. Otherwise, it's not possible. He will go on like this, body after body, he'll be changing. Yatanto yogi naschainam pasyantyatmanyavasthitam yatantopyakritatmano nainam pashyanti achetasaha. Same thing, right? By endeavoring yogi, right, he is able to see what is his situation. But even though trying, one who is not a yogi means what? One who is not practicing Nishkama Karma Yoga, he will not, or in the case of devotees, you have to do your dharma, right? dharma which is prescribed by the Lord also. The only difference is in the yogi's case, or yogi means the jnani, nishkama karma yoga. The jnani's case, they offer the result to the Lord with detachment. I don't want any attachment. This will cause bondage to me. Whereas in the devotee's case, what we do is you do your dharma and the result you offer to the Lord with love. So when you make an offering to the Lord, your hard-earned money, right, or your effort, your dharma, the result that comes, not being attached to it, when you offer it to the Lord, you will develop love for the Lord. You will develop love for the Lord. And simultaneously, not considering yourself to be the doer, that will lift you above the bodily consciousness also. So this is a practice. It has to be practiced. When before you become a pure devotee, after you become a pure devotee, all this, no need of practicing all this. But before becoming a pure devotee, all these are tools that will help us to enter into pure devotional service. Now the Lord is explaining, after explaining this, that nobody is able to see what is the reality that Jnani is able to see and which a Muda is not able to see. How the Lord is present in everything. It is the Lord who is running the whole show. He's there in everything. How? Yadadityagatam tejo jagat bhasayate khilam yatchandramasi yatchagnau tattejo vidhi mamakam. I am the light of sun. I am the light of moon. And I am the heat and fire. So this can be discussed further, but now we don't have so much time. I'm just quickly going over because we have to read Bhagavatam also. Then also he says, Gama Vishya cha bhutani dharayamyaham ojasa pushnami chaushadhi sarva somo bhutvara satmakaha. I enter the earth. The earth has the capacity to hold all, such big buildings, mountains. They're all staying in place. We are all able to stand in place. How it is happening? It is happening because the Lord enters the earth, and by he gives that Shakti to that power to the Lord. By that power, she's able to hold everything. So in science, what we study is by gravitational force, everything is in place. But what scientists overlook is, where did this gravitational force come from? Similarly, all the planets are there. They study the universe and they say the planets are there, so on and so forth. But why the planets are not falling down? Why they're staying in one place? Who is doing that? That they cannot understand, right? That is why yesterday also in Bhagavatam we were reading Kamsa's associates, right? They are advising him. But they were all asuras. Asuras, even though they have scriptural knowledge, or they can even be experts in some field, their expertise is only superficial. It's not deep, it's not complete. So therefore, instead of doing benefit, it only does harm. So like that, our education, which does not, it is half knowledge, right? Superficially, only on the superficially we are studying. Yes, there is gravitational force, but where is that gravitational force coming from? Here the Lord is saying, I enter into the earth, and by my entering into the earth, I am giving that power to the earth to hold everything in place. That is why everything is coming down and everything is grounded. The earth is able to hold because of Krishna's entering the earth. Gam means earth. Gam avishya cha bhutani dharayamyaham ojasa pushnami chaushadhi sarva somo bhutvara satmakaha. In the moonlight, there is this power which nourishes all fruits, flowers, vegetables, grains. They become juicy. The fruits become juicy because of tapping the moonlight. In the moonlight, there is this power of nourishing fruits, flowers, vegetables, and grains. How this moonlight has this power? The Lord is saying, I give that power to the moon. That power is mine. It is my power by which the moonlight is able to nourish all fruits, flowers, and vegetables. Next. Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Praninam Dehamashritah Pranapana Samayuktah Pachamyannam Chaturvidham. I enter into the bodies of all living entities as Vaishvanara, the fire of digestion. Whatever food is eaten, that food gets digested by the power of the Lord. He enters in the form of the fire of digestion. What is the relation between the food that is eaten and the different digestive? Once again, we study in science, we study the digestive system. What are the various enzymes in the body? What are the various glands in the body which produce the various enzymes? You have pancreas, you have liver, you have kidneys, you have small intestine, large intestine, so many things happening, right, in the stomach. But who has made this arrangement? That how, there's digestion taking place in the mouth. When the food is still in the mouth, first you chew it. Some amount of digestion is taking place there. And then as it goes down gradually, at various stages, it is getting broken down. It is getting digested. Who has made this arrangement? That we don't count, isn't it? So the Lord is saying, I do it. I enter into the body as the fire of digestion. And all four types of food, you know what the four types of food are? Bhaksha, Bhojya, Lehya, and Chushya. Bhaksha means those which are hard and they need to be, like crackers, right? You have to crack them and then you have to chew and eat them. They're called bhaksha, like chakli and all that. And then what is bhojya? Bhojya means cooked food which is soft and it is, like rice, dal, sabji, even yogurt, right? This is all bhojya. Lehya means that which is licked, like you have good, right? You lick and you eat. And then chushya means that which is sucked, right? Some mangoes you suck like that. So these are the four types of foods. All four types of foods are digested by the fire of digestion. What is this fire of digestion? Krishna is saying that is me. So the essence is Krishna is doing everything. It is by his energy. He is running the whole show here. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto matta smritirgyanam apohanam cha vedaischa sarvairahameva vedyo vedanta kridveda vid eva chaham. Sarvasya cha aham hridi sannivishto. I am there in the heart of everyone. Mattaha smritirgyanam apohanam cha. Now we forget, right? That forgetfulness is coming from where? It is coming from the Lord, right? We remember some things. Many times I have this, like, I don't remember. My children try to remind me that, this happened, that happened, and I just don't remember. And some other things I just remember, even without making an effort, some details. How I'm able to remember certain things and why I'm forgetting other things. What is the science behind that? Krishna says, I give the remembrance and I give the forgetfulness. And also the knowledge. Mattaha smritir jnanam apohanam cha. Of course, we should understand this is not being done whimsically, that on his own, he's deciding this person should remember that. That's related to karma in the case of those who are not devotees, right? And actually, yeah, for those who are not devotees only. Because the Supreme Lord becomes controlled by the devotees. But Paramatma is controlling by giving them remembrance, forgetfulness, and knowledge as Paramatma in the heart. Who is Paramatma? Paramatma is also the expansion of Krishna. So the Lord is saying, I give forgetfulness, remembrance, and knowledge. Vedaischa sarvair ahameva vedyo vedantakrit vedavid eva chaham. I am to be known by all the Vedas. I am the compiler of the Vedas and I am the knower of the Vedas. Now, this is the important section. Last 4 verses. Dvavimau Purushav. The whole chapter is important, but specifically this part I wanted to say. Dvavimau Purushav loke ksharas chakshara eva chakshara sarvani bhutani bhutastokshara uchyate. Dvav, 2. Imau, in this world, Purushav. Purushav means enjoyers. loke. There are two types of enjoyers in this world, ksharaha and aksharaha. Okay. So what is kshara? Kshara means that living entity who falls from his swarupa. So my swarupa is I am a spirit soul, Sachidananda Vigraha, but now I consider myself to be this body. That means I have fallen from my original consciousness. My original consciousness is I am a spirit soul. I should know myself that I'm capable of knowing myself as a spirit soul who is eternal, who is conscious, who is blissful. But I forget that. How? By the covering of avidya. So that Purusha, why Purusha? Purusha means enjoyer. The living entity is also enjoyer, right? So that living entity, so we said two types of living entities, right? Two types. One is Kshara, the other is Akshara. Kshara means that living entity which is capable, which falls from its Swarupa. Akshara means that living entity which never falls from its Swarupa. So here we are specifically studying Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary. Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan explains in a different way. It's not that one is right or one is wrong. Srila Prabhupada, I think, follows Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan's commentary. But since I'm explaining only from Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary, I'm explaining in that way. So Ksharaha means the living entities. Akshara means the Brahman, the Supreme Absolute Truth, Brahman, who will never fall from his uh, constitution, from his Swarupa. Maya can never cover Brahman and make Brahman think that now, I am this body. Not possible. So Kshara and Akshara means what? Kshara means the living entity, Akshara means Brahma. Uttamaha Purushas. So of these two, who's superior? In the Kshara and Akshara, who's superior? Brahman is superior. Akshara is superior. There are two living entities, but of Kshara and Akshara, Akshara is superior. Uttamaha Purushastvanyaha Paramatmeti Udahritaha Yo Lokatrayamavishya Bibhatyavyaya Ishvaraha. But of these two, Kshara and Akshara, so superior to Kshara is Akshara, even superior to Akshara is another Purushaha who's called Paramatma. The yogis are considered to be superior to Gyanis. And the worshipable object of the yogis is Paramatma, and the worshipable object of Gyanis is Brahman. Because the yogis are superior to Gyanis, the worshipable object of yogis, Paramatma, is superior to the worshipable object of Gyanis, Brahman. You are with me? Gyanis worship Brahman. Yogis worship Paramatma. Yogis are superior to Gyanis. Therefore, Paramatma is superior to Brahman. Actually, it's the same object, but Paramatma is the worshipable object of the yogis. So Paramatma is superior to Gyanis. Superior to Brahman. Because yogis are superior to Gyanis, therefore the worshipable object of yogis, Paramatma, is superior to the worshipable object of Gyanis called Brahman. So what did we see first? Kshara. Superior to Kshara is Akshara. Akshara means Brahman. Superior to Brahman is Paramatma. Yasmat Ksharam Atitoham Aksharad Api Chottama Atosmi Loke Vedecha Pratitaha Purushottama. Now, superior to even this Paramatma, so here, one second. Yasmat Ksharam Atitoham Aksharadapi Cha. Here, Cha Uttamaha. So, Ksharam, Yasmad Ksharam Atitoham Akshara. So, superior to Kshara is Akshara and superior to Akshara is Paramatma. But when you say Cha, it includes even Narayan. So, Paramatma means you have Karanodakashaya Vishnu, Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, Kshirodakashaya Vishnu. Narayan in Vaikuntha is superior even to the Purushavatas, to Paramatma. Okay? And then Krishna says, Aham, I am superior to even Narayana. Kshara, Akshara is superior to Kshara. Akshara means Brahman. Paramatma is superior to Brahman. Narayan is superior to Paramatma. And Krishna saying, I am superior even to that Narayan. Very clearly in Bhagavad Gita itself it is said. Krishna himself is saying, I am superior even to that Narayan. Aksharadapi chottama atosmi loke vede cha pratitaha purushottamaha. So this is, but who will know this? Yo mam evam asammudho janati purushottamam sa sarvavid bhajati mam sarva bhavena bharata. Not everyone will know this. Only those who are asammuda. Muda means one who is actually Muda means foolish. Here Muda means one who is covered by avidya. A person who is covered by avidya, who considers himself to be this body, he will not be, no, he cannot understand. That is why it is not possible for us to do Shuddha Bhakti as long as we are in this body, we are identifying with this body. As long as we identifying with this body means identifying with the designations. Only when you realize, we all understand theoretically, but realization, when you realize that I'm not this body, can you actually begin pure devotional service. Sarvopadi vinirmuktam tatparatvenam nirmalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhakti uttama. That is uttama bhakti. Pure devotional service begins after we come out of this bodily concept of life. After we come out of the designations of the body. So, as long as we are in the bodily designations, we are mudas only. Some muda, right? Completely in ignorance. But only one who is asammuda can understand this knowledge, can realize this knowledge which is given by Krishna. How Krishna is the one who's supporting everything. He is running the whole show. He is there in everything. In my heart, in my digestive system, in the food that I eat, in the earth on which I stand. He is, even the air that is moving in the body, it is all because of him. He is supporting everything. And that is, you're seeing in various levels, as Brahman, as Paramatma. Higher than Paramatma is Narayana, and even higher is Krishna. One who sees Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in the way he has explained so far, who will see one who is not asammudha. That means one who is not in the bodily consciousness, one who is not identifying with the bodily designations. Such a person will see Krishna the way he has explained himself. And if he sees like this, sa sarvavid, he is the knower of everything. Vid means knower. Sarvavid means he is the knower of everything. There's nothing remaining for him to know. He knows everything. Bhajati Mam. And knowing this, he worships the Supreme Lord, obviously. Right? Krishna is the Supreme. He is the highest authority and he is doing everything. Naturally, our Shraddha will be roused toward him, isn't it? And then we will bow down and surrender to him. And how we will surrender to him? Bhajati Mam. Sarva Bhavena. Sarva Bhavena means in every way. Right? Not that I will go to the temple and worship the Lord. I will worship in the morning. I'll chant some rounds. And then I have to do my work so that I can get some money with which I can pay my bills. Or I have to do this for my children. I have to do this for my, No. Krishna will take care of everything. This is called surrender, Sharanagati. I have to simply I have to engage in direct devotional service to Krishna. Sarva Bhavena. Krishna becomes his everything. You are my father, you are my mother, you are my best friend, you are my master, you are my everything. And I only have to do devotional service to you. I don't have anything else to do. Sarva Bhavena. In every way, Krishna is his everything. In this way, he will serve the Supreme Lord. Who will come to this, right? Yomam evam asammuda, one who is asammuda, right? Janati Purushottama. That means when you come to this, now one more thing. For us to come to this platform of coming out of bodily consciousness, how can we do that? How can we come out of this identifying with the body? We saw just now. Remember, Nishkama Karma Yoga, what did we discuss? You have to do your dharma. And by doing that dharma, in spite of happiness and distress, you stick to your dharma. By that, you will be lifted out of the bodily consciousness. Mm. And by the work that you do, you offer the results to the Lord with love. When you offer the results to the Lord with love, you will develop your affection for the Lord. And then, of course, what you have to do. So this whole section, the last 6 chapters are talking about Gyanis. If we talk about devotees, that Nishkama Karma Yoga section for the devotees is Daiva Varnashram Dharma. Daiva Varnashram Dharma means you're doing your duties like Nishkama Karma Yoga. You're doing your duties. You're tolerating the pains and pleasures coming, and you'll continue to do your duty. And by doing this, you'll come out of the bodily consciousness. But side by side, because we are devotees, we will be doing, because our goal, that's important. Our goal is to come to the platform of pure devotional service. What is pure devotional service? Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadhyanavritam anukulyena krishnanushilanam bhaktiruttama. That means performing direct devotional service only for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord, and that devotional service which is not covered by jnana or karma. It is not interrupted by jnana or karma. That means while I'm doing devotional service and it becomes interrupted by some other work. No. Continuously, either through body, mind, or words. Maybe you're chanting constantly, or you're remembering the Lord, right? Or you're engaged in, with your external senses, cooking, cleaning, worshipping. In this way, 24/7, you're constantly engaged in the service of the Lord. This is pure devotional service. That is the goal of Daiva Varnashram Dharma. But to come to that platform, what do we need? We need to have this, what the Lord is saying in this 19th verse. Yomam evam asam mudo, right? So we have to come out of this bodily designation to have that type of faith in the Lord. So for that, therefore, we take help from Daiva Varnashram Dharma, where we are actually working, doing our dharma without cheating. See, what happens now if we remove dharma? We think because we are devotees, we are chanting Hare Krishna, we are above. We are above rules and regulations. So even if I cheat, no problem, right? And even if I lie, I tell lies, it's okay, no problem. Or things like this. That means we are falling even from the lower position. Dharma only we are not doing properly. And what is the standard for pure devotional service? 24/7, we should be doing direct devotional service. We are not on the standard of doing direct devotional service 24/7, and nor are we properly situated on the platform of Dharma where we are doing our Dharma nicely, properly. Dhobi ka kutta na ghar ka na ghat ka. That means like the dog of a washerman who is neither at the river nor at the house. That means we are not properly situated in pure devotional service, nor we are doing our dharma. It doesn't mean that we should do only dharma. That is why it is called Daiva Varnashram. There are different types of Varnashram. There is Karmi Varnashram, there is impersonal Varnashram, and there is Daiva Varnashram. We are not doing Karmi Varnashram, where we become Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, so that we can go to Swarga, or, we get, that's not our idea at all, or even to get liberation. The goal of Daiva Varnashram is pure devotional service, as given by the Acharyas. And this Daiva Varnashram is also first given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to his direct disciples, the 6 Goswamis. And Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami has given Satkriya Sara Deepika. As per the instructions of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he has given the Satkriya Sara Deepika, in which the dharmas to be followed by devotees who are aspiring for pure devotional service, they are simplified. We don't do those karmas in an elaborate way. We do in a simplified way. Nevertheless, we have to do our dharma, right? So we follow dharma as per Vaishnava acharyas that they've given. For example, samskara is also a karma. Marriage is a karma, samskara. We do that, don't we do? We have marriages, even in devotees we do. Like this, there are samskaras given for the devotees. If you are a pure devotee, you don't need to do any samskaras. You're not required. It's like in the Gyanis, they do karma sannyas. Fourth chapter of Bhagavad Gita. You do karma sannyas. Not fourth, fifth chapter. You do karma sanya, give up karma. After Nishkama Karma Yoga, you give up karma. You don't need to do karma. Similarly, in the devotees, once you enter into pure devotional service, you don't need to do. You don't need to do any karma. You're not required. Sometimes they do it to set example, like Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was a judge, right? A magistrate. What was the need for him? A family man with wife and children. It was not required. But still he did it. Why? To set example for those people who are not yet pure devotees. By seeing him following in his footsteps, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he himself came and he acted, right, like he doing the dharmas of a Brahmana in this world. Why? Does he need to do? Krishna says no. He doesn't have any duties. Name parthasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana nanavaptam avaptavyam vartayevacha karmani. So he says that I don't have any duties to do in this world, but still he does, to set example for others. Yad yad acharati sreshtas tat tad evetaro jana. Right? When a great man does something, you want to do like him. For that reason, pure devotees externally, to show the world, they do their duties. Like the Pandavas. Yudhishthir Maharaj was a pure devotee. All Pandavas were pure devotees. Still they externally, they show that you have to do your dharma, you have to do this yagya. And by following the king, people who are not yet in pure devotional service, they will come above the bodily platform. They will come to the mode of goodness. And that is a favorable atmosphere for one to, as soon as you like when there is dry grass, as soon as you light a fire, immediately it will catch fire, isn't it? If there is wet grass, there will be only smoke. It won't catch fire. So modes of passion and ignorance are like that. When our activities, our food, our association, it is all in the modes of passion and ignorance, even though that light, that fire of Krishna consciousness, we are trying to light it, but there is no fire coming. But if you are in the mode of goodness, a slight spark, what is that spark? Some small association of a devotee, as soon as you get, immediately you'll be able to take it up and you will enter into pure devotional service. So this Daiva Varnashram Dharma is a favorable ground. It is a favorable atmosphere. But it is not that first we are preparing only. Side by side, we are also hearing Bhakti Shastras. We are cultivating our faith. And this is bhajan, no doubt. But it is not yet pure devotional service. So to become pure devotional service, whatever time we are spending in activities other than direct devotional service, whatever deity worship you are doing, whatever chanting you are doing, and directly engaging in the Sankirtan movement, spreading Krishna consciousness, all that is pure devotional. I mean, all that is direct devotional service, no doubt. But other than that, the remaining time in our 24 hours, where we are not directly engaging in Krishna's direct devotional service, that time should be spent, the karma that we do, that karma should be done according to Daiva Varnashrama principles. Why? Because that work will bring us to the mode of goodness. Otherwise, our work in this world that we are doing, our association in this world with people who are not devotees, that is bringing us to the modes of passion and ignorance, and it is reacting. It is reacting with the little bhakti that we do, right? Little chanting that we do. We have these phones, right? Constantly next to us while chanting. Some WhatsApp message has come. You're looking at that. You're chanting. It's all getting, isn't it? It's polluting our, and we know it is like this. This is the sad part. We know this is the problem, but we are not able to come out of it. Because we are surrounded by these modes of passion and ignorance, right? What we need is strong association of devotees. Imagine when you go to the temple where everyone is sitting down and chanting japa, and if you sit amongst them, how nicely you're able to chant. I have that experience in Mayapur. You go there and you're surrounded with 50, 100, 200 devotees chanting japa. Uh-huh. 50, 100 devotee, 100, 200, 500 devotees, if you're chanting, that is called association, right? But we cannot live in the temple all the time, can we? What to do with wife and children, and how you will maintain them? So we cannot live in the temple. Earlier it was possible. When the movement was in the beginning, Srila Prabhupada had all grihasthas, everyone in the temple. But eventually, this plan is not just for a small group; it is for the whole world. Everyone on the entire planet. पृथ्वीते आचे जत nagar adigram sarvatra prachar hoy be mor naam. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, on the whole planet earth, in every town and village, my name will be chanted. That means everyone is going to become pure devotees. How everyone will become pure devotees? Where the food will come from? Of course, pure devotional service will give, but there's a plan. The devotees will grow the food, like you grow food and you offer to the deities, don't you? Like that, the whole village has to become devotees. The entire society has to be divided in according to this Daiva Varnashrama program, so that everyone is accommodated and everyone can become pure devotees. The advantage of Daiva Varnashram society is you will be in the association of devotees 24/7. That's the point. We need association all the time. Now we are trying to do little bit through online, but there are side effects of this, drawbacks of this also. How nice it would be if we were actually physically, all together, and you know when you get up in the morning and you see everyone is like with tilak and chanting Hare Krishna all day, every day, all over the world. That is the vision. That is the vision of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is the vision of our acharyas. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur pushed this Daiva Varnashram movement, mission. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur has done it. And Srila Prabhupada in his purpose, you will see, this Varnashram system is essential. Why? To bring us to the mode of goodness. Of course, pure devotion, simply chanting Hare Krishna is sufficient. But to be able to chant Hare Krishna 24 hours, you need that type of strong faith, that type of Dhrida Shraddha, which Krishna is talking about here. I don't know. I didn't plan on speaking on this today, but just this verse triggered it. So, Yomam evam asammudho janati purushottamam sa sarvavid bhajati mam sarva bhavena bharata. This point, sarva bhavena bharata, right? He will worship the Lord thinking that my Lord is everything for me. He's not worrying about, oh, what will happen to my son? What will happen to my, this and that. No, he's completely dependent on the mercy of the Lord. This is Sharanagati, right? Who can do that? One who has that type of faith in the Lord. How you can get that type of faith in the Lord? In the association of devotees, when you hear about the lives of devotees who have lived like that, from Bhagavatam, Kunti Maharani's prayers, Dhruva Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, right? When we hear about them again and again, then by that our faith will also be built. And when you do that in the association of devotees, when you're living in a sattvic environment, it is not, whatever you are hearing, it is not reacted by these modes of passion and ignorance. Then you can, like that dry grass catching fire, immediately there's a blazing fire of Krishna Bhakti, Shuddha Bhakti, right? So, iti guhyatamam shastram. And this, see, why you may wonder, why nobody is talking about this, Mataji? Why only a few people are talking? Because Krishna is saying, iti guhyatamam shastram. It's the most confidential knowledge. Confidential knowledge is not known to everyone. This is the most confidential knowledge. That Krishna only is the ultimate, is the supreme personality of Godhead. And who will know him and surrender to him, right? This knowledge is not known to everyone. Iti guhyatamam shastram idam uktam mayanaga. Right? Now it is spoken by me, Anaga, O sinless Arjuna. I am speaking this to you, this most confidential knowledge. Etad buddhva buddhiman syad krita krityascha bharata. Right? So one who knows this, he is the most intelligent person. One who understands this knowledge, right, and who accepts this knowledge, then all his activities, right, are perfected. He is the most intelligent person. This is the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Purushottam Yoga. Krishna is talking about his position and who will surrender to him. So this was just the first part of our session today. I only recited the Bhagavad Gita shloka, but soon, we will be going to the next chapter. I thought we should at least once go over, what this chapter is talking about. Maybe 1 or 2 days more, we will recite only. So tomorrow, when we recite, hopefully, you'll be able to connect uh, as we are reciting what this verse is saying, what this line is saying, what this word we won't be able to grasp everything that is understood, but at least some things, here and there, you'll be able to connect one shloka with the other, getting a picture of what Lord Krishna is saying in this chapter. Now let us also recite Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, first 3 verses. Rasapriya, you're not reciting today? Okay, Srimad Bhagavatam. Text 1. Chapter 1, questions by the sages. Text 1. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Janmadyasya Yatonvayaditaratash Charteshwa. I'm not sharing. I'm sharing. Okay. Janmadyasya Yatonvayaditaratash Charteshwabhigyaswarat Tene Brahma Hridaya Adikavaye Muhyanti Yatsurayaha Tejo Varimridam Yatha Vinimayo Yatra Trisargo Mrisha Dhamna Svena Sada Nirastakuhakam Satyam Param Dhimahi Dharma Projita Kaitavotra Paramo Nirmatsaranam Satam Vedyam Vastavamatra Vastu Shivadam Tapatrayonmulanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite किं वा परैरीश्वरः सद्यो हृद्यवरुध्यतेऽत्र कृतिभिः शुश्रूषुभिस्तत्क्षणात् निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं शुकमुखादमृतद्रवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरहो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः. Srimad Bhagavatam. Maybe I'll read one shloka so we don't forget the continuation. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 4, The Atrocities of King Kamsa, Text 31. So yesterday we saw Kamsa called for all his ministers and narrated to them what happened the night before, what Durga Devi said. Then they will begin to instruct Kamsa now. So we saw what is the qualification of these ministers. They were all the enemies of the demigods. They were envious of the demigods. And being asuras, in the purport we saw, they don't have actually proper knowledge, real knowledge, right? Their expertise is only superficial. They are not qualified to give instructions. Nevertheless, they are going to advise Kamsa now. Text 31. एवं चेत्तर्हि भोजेन्द्र पुरा ग्रामा व्रजादिषु अनिर्दशान् निर्दशांश्च हनिष्यामोद्य वैशिशून्. एवं चेत्तर्हि भोजेन्द्र. एवं thus chet. If it is so, tarhi, then Bhojendra. That means if whatever you have said, right? That Durga Devi said that this boy is born, like the person who's going to kill is already born. So whatever you have said, if that is true, whatever you have heard and you have narrated to us, if that is true, then, O king of the Bhojas, Bhojendra, Pura Grama Vrajadishu, in Pura, cities, gramas, villages, Vraja, pasturing grounds, right? Adishu. Pura Grama Vrajadishu, Anirdashan, Nirdashamscha. Those who are less than 10 days old. Dasha means 10. Anirdasha means not yet 10, less than 10. Anirdashan, nirdashamscha. And those who are just over 10 years, 10, not 10 years, sorry, 10 days. Babies who have, who are not yet 10 days old, and those who are 10 days old and just above 10 days old. Actually, it happened the night before, but to be on the safe side. So those babies who are not yet 10 days old or who are just above 10 days old, maybe 11, 12 days old. Hanishyamodya. Why Shishun? Shishun means babies. Hanishya means you should kill. Right? We shall kill the babies in all cities, villages, and pasturing grounds who are not yet 10 days old, that means less than 10 days old, or even 1 or 2 days over 10 days old. We will kill all babies. If this is so, O king of the Bhoja dynasty, beginning today, we shall kill all the children born in all the villages, towns, and pasturing grounds within the past 10 days or slightly more. Okay, another one also. Kim udyamai karishyanti deva samara bhiravaha nityam udvigna manaso jyaghoshayr dhanushastava. Kim udyamai karishyanti. Kim udyamai karishyanti. By their endeavors, what endeavors? Deva samara bhiravaha. Acha, the demigods, right? By their endeavors, what can they do? Deva samara bhiravaha. Samara means war. And bhira means those who are afraid, running away from battlefield. So you see, they're envious of demigods, right? So they're talking in an insulting way about the demigods. These demigods who are so fearful in battle, they run away like cowards from the battlefield. What can they do to you? Why are you afraid of the demigods? Like that. Who is saying? Kamsa's ministers. Kim udyamaihi karishyanti. Udyamai means they will take some sankalpa and they right to do activities. What can they do? These devas who are cowards running away from battlefield, who are fearful in battle. Kim udyamai karishyanti deva samara bhiravaha nityam udvigna manaso. Constantly they are anxious in their minds, right? Jya ghoshay dhanushastava. As soon as they hear the ghosha, the sound of your dhanush, right? They become completely, they're in anxiety, their minds are agitated. That means, once again, we see in Ramayana also, when Vibhishan gave good instructions to Ravana about the power, the glory of Lord Ramchandra, and how it is not intelligent to fight with Lord Ramchandra, but Ravana's sons and his ministers, they just kept, uh, flattering him. Are, you are so great. What can anyone do to you? He's just a human being. You have done this, you have done that. These people are not actually well-wishers. Similarly, here also Kamsa's ministers, they're saying, what can these demigods do? They're so fearful in battlefield, right? And as soon as they hear the sound of your bow, they become fear. Their minds become agitated, right? So don't fear. Don't fear the demigods. The demigods always fear the sound of your bowstring. They're constantly in anxiety, afraid of fighting. Therefore, what can they do by their endeavors to harm you like this? What do you say? The ministers of Kamsa, the Asura ministers of Kamsa are advising him like that. So we will stop with that today. It's 8 o'clock. Thank you all so much, dear devotees. All of you have a wonderful day in Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Samaveta Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.